Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is April 10th, 2026. I'm running two shows every day. This is the pre-market brief, and we'll be back with the market open for live price action, momentum, execution. Remember, I watch the market, give the breaking news, and find the levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. This is the final session of a historic week. We have moved from extreme fear just to regular fear, 37 on the Fear and Greed Index. We had a massive data dump at 5:30 a.m. We had CPI, core CPI. What else? We had CPI year over year, CPI month over month, and core CPI month over month. We'll get to that briefly. Let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's get into the data. We had core CPI month over month come out. It was forecasted to be 0.3%. It came out at 0.2%. This is a beat. Cooling core inflation is exactly what the tech sector wanted to see. This is why there was a SPX spike as soon as the news dropped. So this is starting to whisper that we need a potential rate cut again. And then we had CPI year over year. The forecast was 3.4%. The actual was 3.3%. While the yearly number is still high due to the war spike, the monthly cooling is a real driver for the charts this morning. So we did have Trump talking on Truth Social. He said, Iran is doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say. This is not the agreement that we have. And now Iran is actually charging a toll to go through, which they've never done before. All right, let's get to Robert Greene's daily law. Always say less than is necessary. By saying less than necessary, you create the appearance of meaning and power. The less you say, the less you risk of saying something foolish or dangerous. Powerful people intimidate and impress by being vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like in their communication. When you try to impress with many words, you appear common and out of control, increasing the risk of saying something foolish. Saying less makes even a banal statement seem original and significant, keeping your true intentions protected. In long-term investing, saying less means letting your portfolio do the talking while you ignore the noise of the experts on TV, quote-unquote experts. You don't need to justify your hold on the $1 trillion tickers to anyone. Your silence in the face of volatility is your power. While others are over-explaining why they are panic selling, you remain sphinx-like in your commitment to your family legacy mantra. Fulfilling your life's task requires the discipline to stake out the plan without needing to constantly talk about it. The less you react to the daily fluctuations, the more in control of your financial destiny you appear, and you actually are. When it comes to trading, active traders often lose because they talk themselves into a trade, overanalyzing every 5-minute candle until they do something foolish. To survive the Fear and Greed Index at 37, you must say less to the market and listen more to the 3 support and resistance levels that I'm going to give you on the show. Trump is currently using the vague threat to keep Iran guessing. As a trader, you use a vague and open-ended bias to stay flexible as the price action begins to develop. If you commit too many words to a specific direction before the 7 a.m. consumer sentiment data, you risk becoming common and easily cowed by the liquidity. Silence is the ultimate disguise for your dangerous ambitions on the charts. The inflation data is out. The Hormuz toll is the new threat. We got more data coming out at 7 a.m. Stay patient, stay disciplined. Execution over emotion. Process over prediction. All right, let's get on these charts and let's get these levels cracking. All right, we're going to start out with SPY. SPY currently in the pre-market is at 680.95. To the downside support, we got, oh, hold on, let me move this pre-market high up here because this thing spiked up. Okay, there we go. All right, to the downside support, we got 680.10, followed by the pre-market low of 678.91, 678.15, 677.60. To the upside resistance is very close to that right now, 681.15. It might actually even be over that by the time the market opens. Next, we got 682.10, which is a weekly level. Very likely to sell off once it hits that, or reject at least. Followed by the pre-market high at 682.45 and hourly level at 683.35. Next, we got QQQ. Currently in the pre-market, 611.61. Gotta move this pre-market high as well. Okay, to the downside support, we got 610.50, 610.10, the pre-market low of 609.06, and a weekly level of 608.80. To the upside resistance, we got 612.40, pre-market high of 613.02 and 613.30. The VIX is under 20 again, y'all. NVIDIA currently in the pre-market at 184. To the downside support, I got 182.80, followed by, these levels are all very close. A weekly level at 182.40, the pre-market low of 182.36, and an hourly level of 182.30. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 184.25, followed by 185, 185.25. Yeah, we got some new beats. We got some new beats in the background, y'all. I'm in my Kanye bag 2026 Bully album. Let's get it. We slapping, soulful. All right. Next, we got Apple. Currently in the pre-market, 259.30. To the downside support, we got 259, followed by the pre-market low at 258.44 and 258 weekly level. To the upside resistance, we got 259.75, pre-market high 260.52, 260.85, and 261.10. All right, next we got Google. Currently in the pre-market at 319.45. To the downside resistance, to the downside support, we got 318.10, followed by the pre-market low at 317.16, 316.50, and 315. To the upside resistance, we got 319.90. We got the pre-market high at 320, and then 322. Tesla currently in the pre-market at 346.80. To the downside support is very close to it, 346.75. And then a pre-market low at 344.52, followed by 339.70. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high, 347.53, followed by 350. Actually, I'm missing one level. It should be 348.88. Let me put that on there. Because this is yesterday's high. So that's definitely a level. You can go ahead and roll it down to 85 cents. All right, so upside resistance, we got the pre-market high, then we got 348.85, and then 350. Microsoft currently in the pre-market at 374.07. To the downside support, we got 373.65, followed by the pre-market low of 373, and then 372.70 and 371.35. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 375.30, followed by 376.55 and 377.60. Next, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market at 234.26. To the downside support, we got 233.80, followed by the pre-market low of 232.69 and then 231.80. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 234.84, followed by 235.45, 236.60. Next, we got TSM currently in the pre-market at 373.65. To the downside support, we got 373.10, 370. Pre-market low at 369.60. To the upside resistance, we got a weekly level at 374.60, followed by the pre-market high at 374.83, 376.70, 377.75. Next, we got Meta currently in the pre-market at 635.80. To the downside support, we got 631.50, 629.95, and the pre-market low is 629.28. To the upside resistance, we got the 636.20, the pre-market high 636.76, 637.50, and 639.80. Next, we got AVGO currently in the pre-market at 358.54. The downside support, we got 356.90, 355.10, and the pre-market low of 355. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 359, 359.50, 360.65, and 361.90. Next, we got brk.b currently in the pre-market at 484.80, pre-market low 484.53, pre-market high 485.88. I don't think anybody trading this, so you don't need the levels. Next, we got Walmart currently in the pre-market at 128.60, pre-market low 128.56, pre-market high 129.78. I don't think y'all trading Walmart either, so that's the level we get. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back at the market open. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.